Despite being blind, this man is the strongest mercenary on the African continent. Besides, it's a massive feat to hire him. He requires a special arrangement every night, 10 movement as he evolves with every battle he fights. For this reason, fans jokingly call him the Service King, but his reputation for strength is no exaggeration. Togo was once tasked with transporting a shipment of weapons, only to be intercepted by pirates mid-transit. Fortunately, Muteba was right by her side. She ordered him to reclaim the weapons at any cost. The mission sent a surge of excitement through Mutaba. To him, the freedom to kill is pure bliss without a word. He threw open the cabin door and leaped from an altitude of 10 meters. Togo watched in disbelief. By the time she reached the ship, the scene before her left her utterly shell-shocked. In just 2 minutes, Mutaba hadn't just slaughtered all the pirates. He hadn't spared a single soul on board, including the crew. To earn even more, he requested Togo to enter him as a Kengan fighter. Now, Mutaba enters the arena of the Kengan tournament. His opponent is the Hell's Angel, the legendary Sekibayashi Jun. Saying that clown like face paint, Muteba treats him with utter contempt. His first move is a lethal eye poke. Luckily, Sekibayashi was prepared and dodged the vital strike just in time. Before Muteba could react, Sekibayashi instantly unleashed a Mongolian chop, followed immediately by a flurry of combination punches. Caught off guard, Muteba was forced to cross his arms in a desperate guard. However, his efforts were in vain. Sekibayashi's assault was relentless, weaving chops into his strikes. A barrage of fists rained down like meteors, smashing into Muteba's forearms. Each punch was backed by immense bone-crushing power, overwhelming Muteba so completely that he couldn't even mount a counterattack. Muteba sent flying dozens of meters back by a devastating heavy punch. He intended to counter as Sekibayashi swung a horizontal hook, but his intent was red, and he found himself pinned firmly to the ground. Sekibayashi thought this finished him, unaware that Muteba used elbow damping to mitigate the impact. He then burst out of Sekibayashi's hold with explosive force and mounted him. Forced into a corner, Sekibayashi could only pin Muteba's head down, attempting to restrict the mercenary's movements, but he underestimated Muteba's overwhelming physical strength. Seeing Muteba about to break free again, Sekibayashi resorted to a vicious tactic. In a brutal move, Sekibayashi directly ruptured Muteba's eardrums. Immediately, static began to interfere with his acute sensory perception. He rolled away to create distance despite the ringing in his ears. He could still rely on his left ear to maintain combat awareness. Unaware of this, Sekibayashi tried to close in, only to be struck by a whip kick the next second. The searing pain forced him back a few steps, allowing Muteba to track his location and launch a heavy punch. He followed up immediately with a barrage of combination strikes, but Sekibayashi wasn't about to let him take control. He countered through a gap in the assault with a brutal headbutt, shattering Muteba's teeth. The blow completely enraged the mercenary. To strike fear into the heart of this clown, he decided to unleash his true power. Muteba's footwork began to shift. Mimicking a professional boxer, Sekibayashi, however, remained unimpressed. He swung first, only to be countered by a devastating blow. Utilizing his newfound agile footwork, Muteba circled Sekibayashi, effortlessly evading strikes, by relentlessly targeting his opponent's injuries. At this moment, he had transformed into a nimble cheetah. With ghostly footwork, he is running circles around Sekibayashi. Infuriated, Sekibayashi swings a heavy punch, only to have his own shin fractured by a counter kick.
Scared? What are you doing?
Now let's break down this fight. In the beginning, Sekibayashi relied on his strength, pro wrestling techniques, and precise tactics, gaining the upper hand and effectively neutralizing Muteba's core advantages. However, Muteba displayed terrifying adaptability and a resilient will, breaking free and launching a counterattack from a position of disadvantage. Muteba completely turned the tide once he utilized his agile footwork. Using speed footwork and precision strikes, he took the powerful, yet relatively cumbersome Sekibayashi and toyed with him. Finally, sightseeing on a mistake born of Sekibayashi's rage, he fractured his calf with a kick, dealing a devastating blow. Muteba has now seized a clear initiative and the advantage. Sekibayashi's calf injury severely impacts his mobility and power delivery. He is now struggling to leverage his strength, and his mental state has been compromised. Unless he finds a way to restrict Muteba's movement or land a finishing blow, then his defeat is all but certain.